today we are here to talk about Zensu, the game. Apparently there's other Zensus. I think I had some Zensu knives. But before we get to discussing knives or games, make sure you hit the subscribe button down there and the notification bell.
That's
so
right.
You can keep up with all of our discussions.
And because evidently board games are awesome.
And that's what we do here,
That's
apparently,
what we do here, so.
at Legends of Nirvana.
That's right.
So, Rob, what can you tell us about Zensu, the game?
The game. Okay, so this is a 2021 release, and overall rank is 18,261, individually rated at 6.6. This is a two-player abstract game, so it says in 10 minutes. It took us longer than 10 minutes. That's because we're so smart, you know.
Yeah.
We keep going back and forth.
That's
the reason. And so it plays ages 8 and up, designed by Raymond Haseman, designed by Cheatwell Games. I don't know if I'd want a board game company named Cheatwell, but oh well.
We didn't cheat well.
We didn't cheat well. I didn't because I lost. So now I saw an odd price range differences, and not from some companies I've heard of. So the only one I know of that everybody's heard of is Amazon for $26.99. The only other places I could find it was a website called Wicked Uncle USA.
Okay.
And that was $29.99.
That might have been the Zensu something else.
Maybe. I don't know. And then Rainbow Resource Center, which is out of Illinois, for $19.50. They had it cheapest.
Okay. So this is an abstract game where it's kind of like a variant of chess, I guess.
I think that'd be the closest thing you could relate it to.
So a little bit of checkers too, because you can jump over pieces and capture as well. So this is, as far as quality of components, you've got all these wooden bits.
Yeah,
nice chunky.
Yeah, chunky wooden bits on it is really nice.
And
the board's halfway decent.
The wood is just a basic wood, but the screen printing is nice, and all the pieces.
And it's clear and easily readable.
Yeah, there's ones and twos, and each one has the same movement capabilities, and it's printed right on the tile. So it's very easy to learn this game.
Absolutely.
But I can see there's going to be a lot of advanced strategies figuring out what.
Just like and that's where I think it's more like chess than checkers, is that there's a lot of layers to the game.
Yeah. Kind of like an onion. Maybe
except for onions are gross.
Maybe there's Zensu onions too.
Yeah, but onions are nasty.
Alright, so as far as the quality of components, there's not a lot to the game.
This is it.
Yeah. But the wood pieces are nice. The wood pieces
are nice. The board's, it's functional. It's a little pretty. So.
Yeah, I'll probably go ahead and give this a 6.5.
I think 6.5 is good. The wooden bits are nice.
Alright, its theme is not applicable here.
It's abstract.
It's abstract, totally. They got some pretty art as far as the flowers, but that's all there is to it, literally. Other than that, it's just the wooden bits with the movement on it and a grid board.
Yeah, I mean, it just feels like a tactical abstract game.
Yeah. So it's really not applicable.
Right.
Alright, moving on to the rulebook. So the rulebook is a 4-pager. It doesn't really have a cover. It goes straight into the rules, telling you before you start how to set up the board, which is literally put it on the middle of a table that's a flat surface.
Flat surface. That's they pointed that out.
Yes. And then, basically how to choose first player.
Right.
And then you've got, pick a color basically, and that's set up.
That's set up.
And then it talks about the movement paths, how each of the pieces moves, and how you capture, and then winning the game rules. And that's all that's in here, really. They do have an example of play. And then
I saw a couple examples in there on movement.
Yeah, they have some hints and tips.
I should have read that part.
Yeah, it's just 5 pointers on here. Yeah, that's all there is to the rules.
And it didn't need to be more than that.
No, I mean, it does its job, gets you into the game quickly. It's a very simple, rule.
Initially simple game.
Yeah, so
it's like Othello.
Yeah,
simple to learn.
As far as the rulebook goes, it does a good job. It's got nice, clear illustrations. I've given it a 9. There's not much to take off for.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, moving into the gameplay. So the beginning of the game, you're going to have all your pieces set up with the ones in the
first blue row.
Blue row,
and then your twos in the white row.
Twos are backing them up back here. So now with the wizardry of Zensu, the board is reset for the start of a game. So all your ones are in the front row, which is in the first row of the kind of the greenish blue, and then your twos are in the back row, which is kind of your goal for the game. And the goal is to march one of your pieces, it doesn't matter which one, into the other player's goal, or you could win by capturing all their pieces, but it's much simpler just to march somebody down there. But the trick is your ones have move forward one space, but if you move them to the left, right, or backwards, you have the option to move any of those directions, but they have a number printed on them each side telling you how many you have to move. You cannot move less, you have to move that full amount. So like I move up one with the one, but I can have to move left with 4 spaces. Now if there were any of your pieces in between, Rob, I would capture them. But if any of mine are there, I just jump over them.
But you can't land on a space that you already occupy.
Right. So you'll find early in the game particularly, you're going to be blocking yourself because your pieces will be in your spots where you want to move them. You almost want to thin your herd a bit before you really get into the heavy strategy of this. But you obviously you don't want to take a bad deal and lose pieces that you're not going to gain something for. Or at least gain position for.
Right. That's what the game's all about, really. Yeah. It's just positioning yourself so that when your opponent makes a move, you can take advantage of it and then just move on in and win the game.
Right. And what's interesting about this is even though the ones are your pawns, if you will, they can actually be more powerful than your twos because they can take 4 positions to the left and you could capture up to 4 pieces at once.
4 and 2, so you got more movement where your twos only have 1 to one side. So, I mean, the 2 forward is nice, but the 1 to the one direction limited me quite a bit at the end of the game.
So you've got to kind of keep some of both. You don't want to lose all your pawns and keep all your twos, or you're probably going to find yourself in a bind. So you want to kind of have a mixture of them and set them up strategically, because in order to get a piece across the board, you got to get past a minefield of your opponents that they may have set up with their 4s being able to take a whole row out almost, and so you can't just walk straight down. Even if you had a clear path down, you wouldn't necessarily be able to walk straight down.
Right, because people could jump over themselves and land on you and capture you. And
so it's it's a simple game, simple concept, but there's a lot of strategy hidden. And as a matter of fact, early on I made a big mistake, and if Rob had caught it, you would have been able to just march 2 spaces down, and I couldn't have done anything about it. And because I basically set it up where I missed the fact that I didn't have anything covering either of those 2 columns, so it would have taken me 2 turns to get it set up where I could protect, which is what I did immediately. And thereafter was set it up so I would be safe.
Right.
So yeah, I think it's it's kind of tricky to keep in mind all the different movement combinations of the different tiles to make sure that you've got everything covered, and that you don't have yourself in the way so that somebody could move through. So as far as the gameplay of this, I mean, I really enjoy it. There's not, like I said, it's not that heavy, and it doesn't have, I mean, chess is definitely by far more advanced because each piece moves differently. Sure. With this one, they're all
I feel this is more like Othello.
Yeah.
So, easy to learn, lifetime to master type of thing. I think it's that same level of complexity. There's very easy to learn up front, but there is a lot of depth to it. And I think this is a great game to ease into abstracts. So it's really good. I enjoyed it quite a bit.
So as far as my score, I'm probably at a 7 on this. I think it's fun, but it just doesn't have a whole lot of meat to it. I don't know how much replayability it'll have. As far as once you get the strategy down, is it going to stay?
I think there's a lot if you're playing with someone that you're learning the game with. Yeah. So then you can just keep going back and forth and developing new strategies. I think there's quite a bit of replayability. I think if you're teaching the game a lot, probably not, because you would just I think you would annihilate them because you would have that experience that your opponent wouldn't have.
Yeah.
But that's really any abstract, right? So it's. I think that this is a game you learn to grow with, and you have someone in particular you play a lot with. I think there's a lot there.
Yeah, when I bought it at Origins, I think I was playing against the guy who created the game, and he stomped me. So
I wish I would have stomped him, but I didn't. I lost.
So what's your score on it?
I'm actually higher. So I really like abstracts. I enjoy them quite a bit. I would put this up there with Othello, and Othello was a game I cut my teeth with when I was younger
I
in
don't think
gaming
if you're
in general.
playing right. If you're
No, they're hard plastic
Yeah,
discs.
I know,
Yeah, you
that's-
know, so you can definitely cut your teeth on them.
I'm sure you could. I think you're playing it correctly.
But either way, I think that it's up there at that level of complexity, but easy to learn. I like that. I'd give it at least an 8, if not even more, the more I play it.
Okay. All right. Well, that's our thoughts on Zensu, the game. If you're aware of any other Zensus, let us know. We'd be curious about those.
Let's see if it's anything like this one.
Yeah.
So.
I'm not sure why they had to stress the game.
The game.
So just let us know what you thought. Like I said, this was an Origins pickup for me, but apparently it's a few years old. I wasn't aware of that. So.
And I think that's indicative that you don't see that like on the major websites. Like I didn't see it at Miniature Market, didn't see it at Card House. So it's just, I don't think it's that well known. So.
Yeah. All right. So until next time, stay abstract and come back and join us again.
Bye.
Bye.